So in this video I wanted to discuss how I budget my money and ultimately try and save and manage what I actually make and what I'm able to put towards investing and I guess just saving in general. It could be for really anything else, but I think it'd be kind of a nice conversation to have. I busted out the notebook, take some notes and kind of just make it look all nice on paper. Actually, I guess before we get into the video, I took this off the bookshelf because I think it's very fitting for this video. Atomic Habits was a great book. I have a whole video discussing this, but this book would take a lot more than one video to actually kind of break down. But it was a great read, very insightful. I should probably go back and kind of reread this. But anyway, it's a theme for this video because saving, managing money, it's a habit. It's not something you wake up one day and be like, I'm gonna do it today, or tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. It's something that you do every day, or I guess more like every month. It's a structure that you have each month and an understanding on how much money you're pulling in, how much you can spend, how much you save. So it's habits and discipline, which kind of goes hand in hand in a sense. So I see that, at least from my opinion, budgeting and managing your own money, it's a habit and it's something you have to build and develop. It's not something that just happens overnight. But yeah, anyway. So let's get into the notebook. So let's break this down to a few, I guess, categories. So I have a spreadsheet. I don't really want to show it, but I have a spreadsheet. I kind of break down what we got going on. So I have it labeled as like income. So this is money coming in. Maybe I'll zoom in a little bit. It's a little bit far. So income. Actually, and then we have things like rent, utilities. We'll just say rent plus rent. I'm trying to work on my handwriting as well. Rent plus. Is it a little bit too big over here? Then we have I call it like essentials. But I guess what you call it essentials in here. I'll try to like shorten it. Essentials. Actually, what is it? The one category is like fun. What else do we have? I have food as a separate cost, but that kind of goes into the essentials. Then I'll just put like fun. Just do that. Fun at visit friends. And then we have like just a calculation after that kind of comes up. Actually, I missed one, obviously. I missed a very important one. Save /invest. Can't believe I missed that. Actually, I wrote a little bit too big here. It's alright though. So, income, obviously money coming in. Rent, this is going to include, obviously, rent. Let's see, I'll put like job. Over here we got like YouTube too. I'll obviously put that. That's kind of really it. Rent, we obviously have rent. I have water bill, cable, Wi-Fi. Like I lump all this kind of in. Electric. Essentials, we have things like food, gas, like doctors. Sometimes these are like more expensive costs. Like I had to get my windshield replaced. Actually this month. That's an essential cost in my opinion. It stinks, and it was expensive, but it's essential. Like I need that kind of replaced. The cash was huge, but yeah. That was a lot more money than I thought because I had to get the sensors all fixed. I lump food and gas separately. Like it's a different category, but it still falls within this. Anything else we have? Like dentist even. Dentist. Just like health stuff, Like just something that comes up where it's like, I guess dentist isn't like an essential, but I kind of needed it. My mouth was like killing me, so. I'm trying to think what else. Fun stuff, obviously games, going out to eat, big one here. This is not an essential. This is fun. Food is essential. You gotta eat, but you don't have to go out to eat. Significant difference. But you do gotta have some fun, here and there. Go eat some good food. Go out to eat. Games. What else is like fun? Like gifts. Yeah, kind of really anything else that falls like just activities. And then the save and invest I have in one category. I allocate like a fixed amount each month to this. So technically how it goes, I have income, I have my rent, like I have to pay this, and then I have savings technically right here. Like in that order, it's like this is what I make. This is like kind of things that I like need to do. Like all of these I kind of need. Cable I don't really, but my fiance likes to watch cable, so it's like okay. And actually, technically, this cable is included in the rent. It's a separate cost than the rent, but like it's a mandatory payment. It's weird. It's annoying actually. Anyway, but I would go that I have to pay this. Then how much can I invest, save, and then we break down to like actually essentials and fun and stuff. But yeah. So saving, this could be a stock account, high yield savings account, bonds. It kind of depends what we want to go and do with that money. But that's a fixed amount each month, and I don't let this affect, or I don't let this affect anything really. I try not to, but this is very important. I know that like some people online, they'll say like, oh, this is like 25% or like 40%, something like that. But like it's all gonna depend on your circumstances, how much you actually earn and how much like it actually costs to live. So like right here, this is the like cost of living in my head of living, and where I live, this is expensive. So like I make, I would say, like an okay amount of money, but like this is so high that like I it's so hard to actually save. And I guess technically like go somewhere else and rent, but like it's still expensive, and then the quality of life gets kind of a little worse. Like there's a lot of other factors, like the commute to work, the proximity to work too. Like I don't know, there's a lot of other factors than just a dollar sign, But anyway, I think let's see. I have a fixed amount, but it's like I want to say it's at least 25%. It's like 20%. So like the minimum for me is 20%, and it's typically a little bit more. And this is my outside investments. I have like within my company we have like a whatever, like a 401k thing, but this is outside, and this is only take home. I don't include gross pay. It doesn't make sense to in my head to do gross pay, because you're not actually making that money. You're just what do you call it? It's just like in a system. But yeah, okay, so where am I going with this? I would like this to be more, but like then at some point you gotta live, and you gotta, yeah. Sometimes you need to have this to make everything like then what's the point of doing anything? Like I think, yeah, it's obviously gonna depend on people's circumstances and stuff, but I think it's obviously smart. I'm obviously not a financial advisor or anything, but in my opinion, I think it's smart to you gotta invest and save, but you gotta live a little bit because I don't want to get older and all of a sudden I can't do all these fun things. And you gotta build relationships and friendships and things too along the way. But so one thing I want to focus on is this like 20% too. So like I don't always every month put 20% of my money immediately in stocks or like I guess specifically stocks because sometimes maybe this obviously is going to depend on everybody's situation, but for my situation, like I've been putting a lot more money in the high yield savings just because the cash flow, or yeah, I guess the yield itself right now is pretty good. And it's like essentially no risk. There's obviously always risk to things with managing money, but it's very low. Bonds too are pretty appetizing at these prices, and it's kind of hard to ignore, especially. And again, the reason why I'm focusing on, I guess more focusing on these two, is because I'm expecting to buy a house probably within the next, definitely a few years. I'm hoping. Like this market is tough, but like you gotta play your cards right. I don't know what stocks are gonna do in a year, 2 years, 3 years from now. I think the market's quite high. It could always go higher, but I don't know that it could go lower. I just want to make sure I have a lot more deployable like capital to put towards buying a house. So I want to make sure that money's ready. I'm obviously not ignoring stocks at all, because I understand that you don't know what's going to happen. It could keep going higher. It could obviously go lower, but it could keep going higher. Don't want to miss a lot of potential gains, especially given my current age. Like I'm still pretty young, and I see market opportunities, even though the market's kind of high. It's expensive, but it doesn't mean there's not opportunities out there. So I'm still buying stocks. I'm just being a little bit more, I guess, particular on which stocks I buy. But yeah, we have tons of videos talking about that. And again, I'm not a millionaire. I like to think I at least have some sense of what I'm doing, managing my own money, but it's tough out there. It's tough. It's hard to find. It's hard to find, I guess, good opportunities when the market's expensive. But anyway, it's gonna be dependent on what the Fed does with rates too. If they keep rates, it could be a better time to keep buying stocks if the market, goes a little flat. But and also a good time to yeah. So then, anyway, there's a lot of ways to do. I always like getting into these conversations, but I wanna circle back into the budgeting aspect. I know some people will say like, oh, rent should only be like, I don't know, 25-30% maximum of your income. Well, where I live, you can't even buy like a studio apartment for like under 1,500, and like that's just not sustainable, especially if you're living like with a significant other. It's just not. That affects your relationship. You need space. So my rent is, oh man, I don't want to even say this. Technically I share these expenses with a significant other. So, and I'm not including that money in here. So I guess that is an interesting, I should probably note that. If we just want to compare my rent, or the rent to my income, it's like 55%, maybe 60%. Yeah, I think that's a decent number. So when I say rent, I mean all this. But of our total income, it's like maybe 30%. Actually, did I do the math? I think I did. Give me a second. So I was looking. No, it's like 45% of our total, which is unfortunate. But we do live in a not better, but a higher quality place, I would say. It's nice. It's just very expensive, and the management's good. me is like, let's say 45%. Significant. It hurts, and they just increased the rent too, so. But yeah, essentials. This, it depends. Like, it's like for us, it's like at least $100 a week in food, like absolute minimum. Typically, it's like 150 in just groceries, and it went up so much. We used to get like literally 4 years ago, we would spend like 100, maybe not 3 years ago, like $100 a week in groceries was kind of fine. Now we can't even manage 150. Like it's wild. Yeah, food, gas. That's kind of like the two consistent ones. That's like, I don't even know, maybe 5. I mean, gas. I'm only spending like 150, 100 to 150 a week. Sorry, a month, which is not that much. But yeah, like the doctors, the car, the dentist, these are essential. You gotta budget for them. Like, but it's not every month. Recently, like, I had a doctor's, car, and dentist all kind of come up, and that was expensive. But so one, like, at the end of each month, like, I aim to be net positive. So I guess well, I don't even know. End of month, I should net positive. If I did this right. Now that's kind of not assuming you have these lethal essential costs that are expensive. So at the end of the month, we should be net positive. Not by a lot, but a couple $100, maybe a little more, maybe almost 1,000. Typically not 1,000. A couple $100. So what I do here is, yeah. So I'm already taking into account. So actually, we'll like lump these into like something else. I'm taking into account everything, even like fun stuff, and also my savings. At the end of the month, we have net positive like X dollars, right? So I'm accounting for like, I don't even know what to call it. Like doctors, car costs, etc. So like when these costs come up, I'm already kind of budgeting for it. So actually, I mean, I guess it might be helpful I just show the Excel sheet, but I'm kind of explaining quite well. So like I'll have all these things, and I have the net like down at the end, and then I have like each month, right? And then I'll have like a total of like loose money, like I don't know what to call it, loose, loss, loose is 2 O's, loose money. And that's like things like, it's just like this imaginary piece of money that I have in this Excel sheet that I know didn't necessarily go to anything specific, but I have it on the back burner in case something comes up. Like, I've already kind of mentally accounted for that, and visually I can see that. But also, like, if I want to do something fun, it's like, okay, I have, like, right now I got a good amount of money where I'm like, okay, that, like, I could spend a quarter of that and, like, still have a lot of money left over, like, just in case. I guess the one thing here I probably forgot to mention is, like, emergency fund. Like, you always gotta add to this and, like, save for rainy days. And I guess in a sense, like this in a way is saving for rainy days. But it's like, I think emergency fund implies a more significant like change in lifestyles, and like you lose your job or you get really sick or something like that. Like doctor, car, dentist, these will come up in the near future, I guess, unless you don't own a car or something, but something like this will come up. You know it's coming. It may not be next month or the month after, but like sometime in like a year, you're probably gonna spend like a couple $100 at the dentist or the car, or fixing your car or something, you know. So it's like, yeah, you have your emergency fund, but you also have like just this where it's like just something's gonna come up and you have the disposable money to do so. Now I understand probably not everybody's gonna be able to do all this, and this probably isn't perfect anyway or either, but it's just kind of how what I've been doing. But yeah, I'm just trying to think of what else. Yeah, I also, yeah, I've been tracking. So I do take like my average essential rent, like things like this, and I compare it to how much money I'm actually making and how much, like I average it over each month too, just to kind of get a gauge. I've been able to save on average more than this minimum, while still having like a remainder left over. But yeah, my expenses are just so high. Really need to. I'm at a point where like this like doesn't go down unless like, we move. Like there's like really minimal things we can do. So either in order to get like this percentage down, actually yeah, this plus this is like probably 60-70% easily. So yeah, the fun that I budget in is so minimal. It's like nothing. But yeah, anyway, or so I need to basically move or increase this, like so, which is kind of tough. I mean, yeah, it's kind of tough. But that's why like maybe starting a business or something too. That's a whole different conversation for another video. But yeah, so I either have to move or increase that, because this can't like go any lower. We already don't do that much fun stuff. Like any lower, and it starts affecting my relationships. And it's not because like like we're demanding like fun. It's just because we're already kind of skimpy in this category. So anything lower, and we just don't like do anything. I could decrease this, but again, I'm gonna sit on this like. It's not even the percentage. It's the dollar amount, and it's because again I'm saving for house, saving for future too, and stuff like that. So I'm pretty set on this. I don't mind if this increases. I'm not gonna increase this unless like it's substantial. Again, I like the number that I'm adding each month already. Obviously, we could always add more, but I don't know. Sometimes some things gotta give, and I think that's I think it's very easy for people on YouTube and other videos to say like you cannot, like you gotta increase this every time this goes up, blah 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 blah, and it's easy to give like it's easy to tell other people to do that, but when you're in the moment and you're trying to have fun with your family and friends and significant other, you're gonna keep your relationships and stuff, and you want to live your life a little bit. At some point, you gotta just accept that this isn't everything. It's very important, but it's okay to have fun and live a little bit. It's fine. But yeah, that's something that I had to accept too. Took a little while. But yeah. Anyway, though, this is though how I budget my stuff. I guess we kind of recap though. I track my income. I track things that are absolutely essential: rent, food, gas, other things. I track how much we spend on fun stuff. Then I have a fixed amount that a minimum fixed amount that I want to save. I then put that into stocks, high yield savings bonds, or emergency funds, or I guess high yield savings and bonds kind of imply that the house. Obviously I don't. It depends where I'm going to put this each month and kind of, decisions that I make. Sometimes I might not actually do anything. At that point, just throw in the high yield savings and you can move it around later on. It depends what the market's offering and how I'm allocated. I don't manage everything super, like, intensely with percents. It's just kind of a feel, At the end of the month, we were always net positive, or we aim to be. And I guess more specifically, the net positive might be fluctuate month to month. Maybe one month's super positive, one month's not, one month's good, bad. But all those months in total are positive. So I know that in general, I'm saving additional money to save for things like doctors, cars, dentists, things like that. So each individual month might not be positive, but the total or the sum of every month is positive. So I have that extra, like an additional cushion, just in case, and that's in addition to an emergency fund. Because again, the idea behind this additional cushion is it's just to pay for things that come up that aren't necessarily big ticket items, or like big life-changing events, or like I lose my job or something. But it's something like a dentist that comes up, oh, there's a couple $100 right there, or like you gotta get surgery. I guess I had to get like a tooth pulled or whatever, a couple $100. So it's just another cushion. But I don't think you need an emergency fund for that. But yeah, that's something I've been doing that I've been liking. And also, like, if I want to buy something cool, I'm like, oh, I got this big cushion, and like right now the cushion's big enough where I can take a chunk of that and still have a very big cushion. And I think that feels also good in a sense, because I'm already saving, I'm already doing like a fund or whatever, or emergency fund and also this stuff, and I'm already positive every month. And I can take a small percentage of that and still be able to do something cool or fun. So, yeah. Anyway, that's how I do some stuff. Let me know if you enjoyed the video or have any questions, or I think we could dive into some other topics and videos and discussions. Anyway, though, take care. Stay tuned for some more videos about finance, stocks, and all that stuff. Remember, I am just a normal guy. I'm not a financial advisor or anything. I'm just a normal dude chatting about how I manage my own money, and open to provide some, I guess, ideas for other people, and how they can, I guess, not do the same, but how they can apply things in their life to better track their own expenses. Take care, everybody.